Good afternoon. My name is Chris Adams, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Glint Pharmaceuticals. And we're developing a drug delivery contact lens. So everything you just heard, don't believe it. So if I leave you with one thing today, it would be that we're taking a standard off-the-shelf bandage contact lens. We're combining it with generic and new drug combinations. And we're putting that together using our proprietary vitamin E nanobarrier system to treat very large markets: glaucoma, infection, dry, and the like. So how does the technology work? Essentially, we are, on the left-hand side, you see the eye, and the lens sits over the eye and delivers drugs slowly. On the right-hand side, the yellow ellipses are the vitamin E nanobarriers, and the blue area is the silicon hydrogel matrix of a standard contact lens. The red dots represent the drug. And so we control release rates by increasing the amount of vitamin E nanobarriers. Think of traffic cones. The more traffic cones, the slower the traffic. The less traffic cones, fewer traffic cones, the faster the traffic. So we can control release rates from a few hours all the way up to 15 days. And this technology is proprietary, and we have a license to the technology from the University of Florida. So we have some experienced team members. Myself, I've invented ophthalmology-based products, amniotic membrane-coated contact lenses, for example, software to treat various diseases. We have Anush Chauhan, who is the inventor of the technology at the University of Florida, now at the University of Colorado School of Mines, Cynthia Matosian, a very noted ophthalmic surgeon, and Craig Walker, who comes to us from Johnson & Johnson Vision Care, having developed the one-day AccuView lens online. So we're very experienced and knowledgeable in the field. So typically, and this would be a patient journey slide, the patient would have an abrasion, for example, go into the clinician's office. The clinician would then assess the injury to the eye. They would then put a contact lens onto the eye, and this lens would be delivering moxifloxacin. The patient would then go home, no drops needed, and they would come back 2 to 3 days later for assessment. And if the assessment is good, the wound is healed, they send them on their way. If it's not healed and there's some issues, the doctor can then decide whether to use more other medications or put a second contact lens in and then have them come back in 2 to 3 days again. So it's a very straightforward process. So we've done a safety study with 27 patients. There were no adverse events reported. The patients all reported that the lens was very comfortable. They slept in the lens for up to 48 hours. Visual acuity was not changed. And we actually were going to go to a 50-patient study, but after seeing 27 patients with no adverse events and these results that I just described, we decided to stop it. There was no need to continue. So we're very pleased and very happy with that. So in the real world, we've actually engaged with clinicians to put the lens on the patients in their practice. So the first patient was a patient with a corneal ulcer. The patient wore the lens for 6 days, no drops needed, no further drops needed. The ulcer cleared and cleared very well. Everybody was happy. And the patient reported very high comfort level of the lens. The second patient was a PRK patient. The patient required no further drops after the lens was placed. The patient slept in the lens for 5 days. The wound healed, and everybody was happy. And then the third, again, is a corneal abrasion, and that goes along the lines of the patient journey that I talked about. The patient slept in the lens for 3 days. The abrasion healed. Comfort was reported, and everybody was happy. So the lens is working as we engineered it. It's working as advertised, and we hope to see this trend continue. To date, the lens has been on, I would say, 40 patients across the United States and Canada with similar results, and no adverse events reported to date. So as Monty mentioned, the market for a drug delivery contact lens to treat various ophthalmic disorders is pretty high. There are hundreds of millions of patients across the globe, and these numbers should satisfy any potential investor. So in summary, we have a drug delivery contact lens that is patented. We have good clinical data. We actually have a go-to-market strategy to launch the product this year. We are raising additional capital, and if anyone is interested in either investing or participating as a collaborator or as a customer, please see me. Thank you.